disruptive.
America that I fought for.
Weird thing to happen. Hello, one and all. Welcome to this edition of Kitz Corner. It's been a fantastic day so far. So, file this story under deranged. I don't know what else word I can use to describe this because, I feel like the more I've done this show, the more I've done this channel and done these videos and come on with you guys and discuss the news of the day and comment and done my opinion on this, I feel like nothing surprises me anymore. Like, I've seen the worst of the worst. I have seen every which way when it comes to war, when it comes to with COVID and healthcare, to the shambles of stuff that's going on in the street, the violent crimes. I feel like there's nothing that surprises me anymore. But this is definitely a shock. Let's just say that. So this is an article that came out of the National Post. And I feel like this is too much of a story that I could not ignore. Even though I don't want to get involved into the whole transgender debate, because as someone that I consider myself an ally to the LGBTQ alphabet community, and by ally, I mean that, as a friend, I'm concerned about the direction of where that group is going. As a friend of an ally of that group, I'm concerned about the direction of where things are going. And more so, people that are actually part of the LGBTQ community are also concerned. And especially when you see something like this. So this is from the National Post. Get this. An Ontario resident who wants both a vagina and a penis wins public funding for unique surgery. And the thing that concerns me is that this person obviously went to court, fought the battle, and got public funding for what I consider cosmetic surgery. And yet, you can't go to an ER in Canada for less than 10 hours. This is the thing that concerns me. Like, we can't even get basic health care to people that are actually sick and dying. But you have a person going to court so that they can have cosmetic surgery done under tax dollars. Like, we have that money set aside for that, but not for general basic health care for ordinary Canadians. It just seems like this is just absolutely crazy. So it says a court has ruled Ontario must pay for a penis-sparing vaginoplasty for a person who identifies as neither fully female nor fully male. And my other question is, because I'm not a doctor, I have no background in medicine whatsoever, but, based off looks of the human body and form, how exactly is there room for both? Like, how exactly does that work? Like, is it just two little eeny ones on the, around that area? I don't know how it works. And frankly, I don't want to know how it works, because if I know how it works, then I don't, yeah. Anyway, like I said, I didn't know if I wanted to do the story, but it's too insane not to. So it says, Ontario has been ordered to pay for surgery for a resident who is seeking to have a vagina constructed while leaving their penis intact. Denying the procedure would infringe on a person's charter-protected right to security of a person, an Ontario court said in its ruling. Anyway, the amorous decision by a 3-member panel of judges of Ontario's Divisional Court could expand the access to a novel bottom surgery for people who identify as non-binary, meaning they're neither fully male nor fully female. The Ontario resident identifies in court documents as KS and has been locked in a legal battle with the Ontario Health Insurance Plan since 2022, when OHIP denied a funding request to have a penile-preserving vaginoplasty performed at a clinic in Austin, Texas. So The surgery is in Texas. And she's arguing that the OHIP, that's just the Ontario Healthcare Insurance Plan, is not paying for a surgery that's going on in Texas. And again, you go to a hospital right now in Canada, you're at least waiting 10 hours to see a doctor in an emergency room. And again, this is the problem with healthcare, is that when you let it in shambles, it gets worse. And at least it's better than a privatized system, because a privatized system is going to do the exact same thing. You're not going to get choice. You're not going to get to choose your doctor. At least here we got some bit of choice. But you're not going to have that if they keep deteriorating. That's why you have to keep investing into it. You have to invest in the healthcare of your nation. And if you invest in your healthcare of your nation, you have stronger and more productive citizens, which just makes sense. It's the pillar of society. But not when we're spending the money on this and ignoring everybody else. This is what makes it worse for people. This is why so many people have problems with the transgender community. This is why there's so much of this going around. And a lot of people, the LGBTQ, feel the exact same way. I know people that are in the, transgender community that are feeling like this. The people that are transitioned from male to female or female to male, they don't understand the non-binary thing. And if I don't understand, they don't understand. Like it's gone a bit too far on this. And like I said, as a friend and an ally to support, people as they are and who they want to be, because I feel like these are individual decisions. These are nothing I could do to stop or say or opinionize on anything. As an ally to this, I think it's right to criticize it. As an ally to anything, you should have the right to criticize, because that's what a good friend would do. A good friend would reach out and support that person by questioning that person. By making sure they're going in a healthy direction. The surgery, which is not available anywhere in Canada, involves creating a vaginal canal or opening without removing the penis. KS, who is 33, was born male but identifies as female dominant and uses a feminine name. What? I don't even know what that means. OHIP denied a request for funding, arguing that the procedure is not included on its list of sex reassignment procedures and is therefore not an insured service. KS appealed OHIP's decision, Ontario's Health Services Appeal and Review Board, arguing that forcing her to have her penis removed while invalidating her identity and be akin to an illegal act of conversion therapy. What? She is also worried about the risk of complications and urinary why can't I pronounce that name? And urinary incontinence from the urological rerouting and the risk of orgasm dysfunction. She argued the procedure she is seeking abroad is the standard vaginoplasties performed in Ontario, but without the additional procedure, namely the penectomy. Penectomy. I don't know why I can't pronounce these words. I guess there's a reason I didn't go to med school. The appeal God, I can't even read today. The appeal abroad overturned OHIP's decision, ruling that the vaginoplasty is among the genital surgeries listed for public coverage and need not inherently include removal of the penis. The board therefore ruled the procedure eligible for public funding. OHIP appealed the board's decision to the divisional court, arguing the review board erred in filing a penis-sparing vaginoplasty and specifically listing as an insured service, and has also failed to consider that the unorthodox procedure is considered an experimental procedure in Ontario and therefore not eligible for funding. Just because vaginoplasty is listed as an insured service doesn't mean any type of vaginoplasty qualifies, OHIP argued in court. The court disagreed. Vaginoplasty and penectomy are listed as discrete, separate services on Ontario's list of surgeries eligible for funding, the court said. The fact that most people have not who have a vaginoplasty have it done in a way that involves a penectomy doesn't change the provision. If the province had intended for only one type of vaginoplasty to be insured, it would have drafted it listed differently, the court said. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot. Um, I feel like I feel like I need a doctor here um to back this up. But I feel like there's so many things that are just confusing with this. There's so many things of confusion that I just don't even understand. And even one of them pointed out in the article, which you don't even think about till now, is if you have both one and the other, exactly how are you going to function both, sexually and, you know, with your urinary tract? How exactly is that going to function? Like, does piss come out of one and cum comes out the other? Is that the option? Like, what exactly is happening? I don't know anymore. I just don't know anymore. And like I said, as Dave Chappelle, who's apparently not a nice person for the tease, even though a transgender woman helped establish his jokes in a comedy sketch, which I would think that's very noble and shows that he cares much about the transgender community. Um, as Dave Chappelle would say, don't mess with the tease, because that group is gonna piss you off. And it did for him. It did for a lot of people. And I don't understand this. I really don't. This is too much. Too much. And it's too much when even people within the Alphabet Soup clan is also against this. If people inside the group, the Gays Against Groomers, people that are against, gender mutilation surgery for minors, like, it's gone too far when people inside that group are angry at this. And this it's too much. It's too much. And again, I say this on behalf of people that are allies and friends and identify, the people within the LGBTQ community as individuals, and they're allowed to practice their individuality. I think, let live, let live. But as as an ally, I have to critique this. I have to. I have to, because this is just way too much. This is way too much. And considering the fact that this went to court, this got approved, and yet there's people out there that don't even have basic family doctors out there. Because the doctors either got fired through the COVID measures and then never got rehired, or they're just getting waved out because of our crumbling healthcare system. And while people are actually in emergency rooms waiting 10 hours just to see a doctor for a life-saving surgery, you have this. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't know how it's going to work. I just see like there's a lot of problems with this. I've heard stories, horrific, tales of people that have done, bottom surgery and doesn't turn out well, and it leads to other disasters, and it's just crazy. But they're pushing this, I think, mostly for the fact that pharmaceuticals can profit off this. I think that's the biggest thing that's moving forward with this, mutilation and gender reassignment and all this stuff, is that pharmaceuticals can get on board. If you're changing your innie to an outie or an outie to an innie, and they can dose you with a bunch of pain pills to make this better, then of course they're gonna be livid for this. But it's just absolutely crazy. I just don't know. I really don't know anymore. But I couldn't ignore this story because it's just how crazy it is. And maybe I'm just crazy, and maybe you guys understand, or maybe you're crazy with me. I don't know, but it just seems like a bridge. It seems a little too far to this.